Hey, what's going on out there, everyone? It's Brandon here. Time to do numbers 30 to 21 on my top 50 best albums of 2017 list. Just got home from work. It's dark out, the lighting is terrible, so I just want to get this video done. The holidays are coming up. So, let's get into it. Coming in at number 30, Possession with Exorcising. Possession is from Belgium. This is an Iron Bonehead Productions release. Possession play a style of blackened death metal, I would say, leaning more towards the black metal side of things. Here we've got 6 songs. Definitely full-length material as far as I'm concerned. I saw these guys play at Destroying Texas Fest earlier this summer. Fantastic. Their singer covered himself in some sort of, I don't know, I think it was like frozen to make the trip over or what, but it was like some weird blood or animal chunks or something very strange. I got a piece of it on one of my shirts and I couldn't figure out what it was, but it looked cool. So yeah, as far as Possession is concerned, uh, great black death metal, whatever you want to call it. Very ferocious, awesome shit. Great record. Number 29, Midnight, Sweet Death and Ecstasy. Hell's Headbangers release. Everyone knows Midnight by now. Athenar is the sole member of Midnight. There are live members that do go on tour and play shows with this band, but Athenar writes and records all of the music for this project. It's sleazy, it's blackened, it's rock, punk. It's, you know, Mem from Exhumer said it best and said this is the closest to Venom that you're going to get right now. Midnight, Sweet Death and Ecstasy. Third full-length album from them, or him, I should say. There's some longer songs on here. The opening song, Crushed by Demons, and then the final track, Before My Time in Hell. And I actually read that he was planning on those 2 songs being a release of their own. It was going to be a single-sided 12-inch EP with just those 2 songs. But once he had those, the juices started flowing and just more songs kept coming. And then the full length was born. So, awesome shit. The title also comes from the combination of Penetratal Ecstasy and Here Comes Sweet Death. There you have Sweet Death and Ecstasy. Another great record from Midnight. They don't know how to put out bad material. 28, Electric Wizard with Wizard Bloody Wizard. Those came out on Spine Farm Records, also Witchfinder Records, which is Electric Wizard's own label. I myself am not a die-hard Electric Wizard fan. I do like them. I do like doom metal. When this record came out, I thought that it was very polarizing. Some people didn't seem to like it. Others seemed to love it. I obviously love it. I think it is my personal favorite Electric Wizard to date. But die-hard fans of the band, I can understand why wouldn't be as excited as I am about this record. I would say that this leans more towards a band like Uncle Acid. A lot of the fuzz is gone. It's more of a traditional doom approach. There are no more sound clips, no more like serial killer quotes or anything like that. It's just a straight up doom metal record, which definitely leans towards more of what I appreciate when it comes to bands like this. And so I personally love it. Necromania, Hear the Sirens Scream, the last track, Morning of the Magicians, all great shit. I do like the cover art. I wish that they had made it look a little more realistic. I mean, you can obviously tell that this is just some fake blood kind of painted on there. I wish they had made it look a little more carved in, a little more brutal. But I don't have any problem with the artwork. I know some people do. Oh well, not everyone's going to be happy with every detail. It's just the way it is. 20. What are we at? Let me cheat real quick. 27. Satyricon. This is Deep Calleth Upon Deep. Far better than their last record, their self-titled record. It's tough to categorize Satyricon at this point because everyone knows them as a black metal band, but their music is far from, where they came from at this point. Nemesis Divina, all the albums that came before that. So yeah, it's tough for me to still call Satyricon a black metal band, but I wouldn't know what else to really call them. They're not goth rock. They're not death metal. I mean, it's confusing. But the tunes on here are undeniable. Songwriting is superb. It's actually catchy. I know for some people the word catchy when you're referring to a metal album isn't exactly true or whatever you want to say, but it's undeniable on this record. These songs got stuck in my head after the first play. In fact, I bought this on CD at first because I was skeptical about it. I wasn't sure I wanted to dish out the extra cash for a double LP. But upon buying the CD, even just listening to it on my way home from the record store, I was like, I was sold. I was like in my head knowing I was going to end up picking up the LP copy because it's that good. Really, every song on here is great. Midnight Serpent, Blood Cracks Open the Ground, To Your Brethren in the Dark, the title track, probably my favorite track on here, The Ghost of Rome. The only track that I don't like on here, and I skip it every time, is Dissonant, because it has this strange intro with horns, sounds like a trumpet maybe, or maybe even a saxophone in there. It does not fit this album whatsoever. It does not fit Satyricon whatsoever. I would go so far as saying I hate that song. I wish it wasn't on here because otherwise this would be a near perfect record. But yeah, still a great record. I love it. I listen to it a lot. And that's all I'm going to say about Satyricon. 26. This is Bone Hunter with Sexual Panic Human Machine. And with this big old werewolf cock on the front, they should have called their band Boner Hunter. Am I right? Anyways, Bone Hunter from Finland. Awesome mixture of speed, thrash, black, punk. Yeah, just a total mishmash of all these different styles, but it comes together so nicely. This is a rather sexual album. You have the title Sexual Panic Human Machine. You have this artwork. And then you have songs like Doom Desire, Devil Science, Spectre of Sex Vengeance, Substance Creator. It's just an all-around fun release. I think this was the most fun I had listening to an album maybe all year when it comes to albums that came out in 2017. Just an absolute rager. You can put this on at like a party or if you're just hanging out with a bunch of friends, and it's a riot. It's awesome. I love this album. Great record from Bone Hunter. And we go from Bone Hunter with a big old werewolf cock to a band called Goat Penis at number 25. This is Anesthetic Vapor, Nuclear War Now Records release, Barbarian War Metal, and that's exactly what describes the style of music from a band like Goat Penis. Earlier records, you had more of maybe a black grind feel, but the grind has tapered off, and I would say that this is just a straight up Black Death, bestial war metal style. The riffs are so strong on this, maybe the strongest of any bestial style album that came out this year. Goat Goat Penis from Brazil. Been around for a long time now. Still putting out amazing albums such as Anesthetic Vapor. If you're not familiar with Goat Penis, don't let the name scare you off. It is a little bit ridiculous, I will say. But yeah, don't let that stop you from checking out what was a top 25 album for me this year. At 25, we're starting to get into the real heavy hitters, and this one is no exception, coming in at number 24. To Mold, Primordial Malignity. This came out on Blood Harvest, and I wanted to put this so much higher up on my list, but it was that strong of a year that a record this good only came in top 24. They're from Toronto, Canada. This is their first full-length album. It is scathing, harsh death metal, absolutely deep-fried, crispy riffs. Fucking, it just slams, man. And not in like a brutal death metal way. I'm talking it just like, you know what I mean? Fucking To Mold, Primordial Malignity. I believe there's only 2 members of this band, and then I think when they play live, they play as a 3-piece. Not entirely certain. They came around to my area. Unfortunately, I missed them. I'm pretty sure their drummer is also their vocalist. I love that kind of autopsy style. Just a great band, great release. Cannot recommend this one highly enough, although, we're getting into some serious, a lot of these in the top 20 or so were, top 10 for some people, best album of the year for some people. And speaking of Paradise Lost, Medusa, this earned Decibel Magazine's #1 spot, which I thought was a little surprising because me personally, I liked their prior full length, The Plague Within, just a little bit more. I thought it was a little bit heavier, but I love how Paradise Lost has returned to form. Nick Holmes is growling with fury once again. Paradise Lost are back to being a death doom band as opposed to some sort of gothic doom band, which I like. It has its place, but when I think of Paradise Lost, I think of gothic, I think of Icon. Those early records that were just so strong, so heavy, and it's great, with Paradise Lost now into, I forget if this is like their 13th or 14th full-length album now, somewhere in that range, but still putting out some of the best material of their careers now with The Plague Within back in, I think, 2015, and then Medusa this year. Really awesome shit. The opening track, Fearless Sky, and then The Longest Winter, my 2 absolute favorite tracks on here. If I had to choose a favorite between those 2, you'd have to put a gun to my head because I love them both equally. If you like the older Paradise Lost material, you will be pleasantly surprised with how good the new stuff is. Here we have number 22, White Death, with their self-titled album, White Death. Finnish black metal, came out on Werewolf Records, which is, partially run by the tyrant himself of Satanic War Master. This is the first full length from White Death. They have a demo and an EP, and this is the Finnish black metal album of the year. Really incredible songwriting. This sounds like it could have come out of that period in like the early to mid 90s where the black metal, the second wave of black metal scene was exploding. I hear some Gorgoroth, like some early Gorgoroth influence on here, but this is definitely deeply rooted in Finnish tradition. Songs like Born from the Unholy Fire, Cast, and then the closing track, White Death's Power, is a folkish tribute to Finland. It's a perfect track. Definitely listen to White Death if you like black metal in any capacity. This record is amazing. It does not disappoint. And then number 21, when it comes to death and doom, Leave It to the Masters, All Pupils, Stand Aside, Incantation, Profane Nexus. Uh, Another band that's so far into their discography and still putting out maybe some of their best material. I mean, nothing will ever top Onward to Golgotha or The Infernal Storm or the early albums, but this is definitely better than albums like Vanquish and Vengeance. I might even like it better than Dirges of Elysium, which was the full length prior to this album. It's got some awesome, awesome songs on here. Luce Sepulchri, Messiah Nostrum, Ancients Arise, some of my favorites. Fantastic artwork on this album as well. Came out on Relapse Records. And if you have a chance to go see Incantation, do it because they've revamped their live lineup. They added Alex Books, or that might be Immolation. I always fuck those two up. So, fuck off. Forget I said that. But definitely go see Incantation. They will rip your face off and burn you alive. It's incredible that, they're still chugging on, still just totally melting brains. Incantation, Profane Nexus. Awesome shit. So that was another 10 records. The next video will be 20 to 11. And yeah, definitely some killer records still to show. The cream of the crop, if you will. Halloween, I wish. Christmas is coming up, so I know I'm going to be busy. Hopefully you guys are hanging out with family, doing good shit. So the next video will probably come out next week sometime. We'll see. We'll see whenever I have time. Glad that I was able to churn this one out. Thanks if you're still watching right now. Thanks for sticking around this long. Thanks for everyone who's still subscribing and watching these videos. It's cool. It's cool stuff. So as always, until the next time, take care.